Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Google or to my search bar in Safari here, and I'm just going to type in whatever I need. So I'm going to look for free clip art football player. It's going to pop up with a bunch of results. Obviously be mindful of copyright, but I'm just going to go to images and look through here and find a free clip art that I can trace and can make be my football shoulder pads. So my setup here, now that I've found my pictures, I've got the laptop plugged into the projector. The projector is shooting at the wall over there, and on the wall we've got a piece of cardboard up just so that way we don't bleed through onto the wall and get stripey on the wall. And then I've got a sheet of butcher paper on top of the cardboard, and that's what I'm tracing my designs onto. So let's say I find this free clip art and I want to put this nice little guy on the wall as a decoration. So I'm just gonna download the image and then I'll drag it into a Word document. So I have a folder here with the various things I want to use, so I'm gonna take the one I just downloaded and drag and drop it into a Word document. So here's what I've got going on now. So I've put up a new sheet of the butcher paper that I'm going to trace onto, and I've got my image in a Word document. Now what's really nice about it being in a Word document is I can scroll and move him around really easily to adjust him wherever I want on the screen. Move him over and click on him and resize him if I want him to go smaller. And I can line him up wherever I want on my butcher paper, and then it's just really simple to trace them out. You can either start by tracing him with a pencil and then go over it with a Sharpie, or you can just go straight up with a Sharpie. But this is the basic idea of how I trace these things using the projector. And from here it's really simple because now you can make all kinds of awesome VBS decorations. We're going to later on be making some silhouettes of sports players. As I showed in the beginning, I'm working on the jerseys for the photo booth, so I'm going to show you another trick in just a minute with those. But it's really simple, just find the image, project onto the screen, and trace it out. And you get these awesome looking graphics and decorations, but you don't have to have super detailed artistic skills. So here you can see what I've done so far. I found a football jersey, like with the shoulder pads and everything, that I'm going to be tracing out. So I went ahead and traced it out really super simple, and now I'm going to add some decorations on there. Now you might notice the tag in the bottom right corner, you might notice that it's a little weird looking. That's because I decided for this one, I wanted to say 18 for the year and VBS, but with a football jersey you usually just have the large numbers and there's not really a spot for VBS to go. So I decided to improvise, and I'm going to put VBS down on the tag. Also, I'm going to be painting these, so if my Sharpie marks aren't exactly perfect, I can easily cover it up with paint later on. So I'm coming back here to my Word document, and I'm going to type in VBS and also 18. And what's really nice about doing this in Word is there's so many fonts to choose from. So like the 18, I want this to be really big, and I want it to look like the numbers on a football jersey. So I'm gonna come up here, size it bigger, and then I'm gonna look through my fonts and find one that is going to look like a football numbers. So I'm going to start getting my numbers on here, and I'm doing 18 for the year. So I'm just going to play around with the spacing, play around with the font size, and get it lined up exactly the way I want on the jersey. Another tip, if you're spacing it and it doesn't want to line up quite right, you can type a period and then change the font size of just the period, and it will shift it, and you can get it lined up left and right better. So that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go trace the 18. And there you go. Now you can see the nice 18 on our jersey. And I'm going to do the same thing with VBS down on the tag. Let me show you one last trick here with Word. So my tag is kind of angled downward just because, you know, a football jersey is going to curve, but VBS is going straight across. Now Word is really awesome and there's lots of little hacks. So I'm going to show you one hack that will enable me to angle this so that way it looks like it's going along the curve of the jersey. So when I come to Word, I'm going to start by highlighting my phrase. So I've got VBS here. And then up here in the top right hand corner, you can see my mouse wiggling around. Right up there, there's this thing that says text box. Looks like that. And while I've got my words highlighted, I'm going to click this. click the little right hand downward arrow and hit text box. And this is what it does. It puts this font, instead of it being like text, it's like a little box of text that I can now move around on the screen like I would move pictures around. So what's really nice is there's this little circle right here at the top, and I can click it, and now I can pivot my writing. So I'm just gonna pivot it like that, and I'll play around until I get it lined up at the angle I want on the jersey. So now all that's left to do is I'm just going to click this text box here and drag it around and get it where I want it to go. I can play with the angle some more. Also, if I want to change the font size, I can click inside there and put my cursor in there, highlight it, and go smaller with my font size if I think I need to. I can angle it again, get it lined up exactly how I want, and trace that onto my jersey. And there we go, that is our tag on at the bottom. As you can see, I did have to go over it a couple times, so I'll just need to make sure to paint that really well to cover it up better. But there you go, that's a really basic, simple way to get some really nice looking designs and get some words on there without having to be super artistic, and yet it still looks super professional.